Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dosbert, and as always, I'm super excited to be here with you. It is going to be my last Sunday with you for this year because Christmas is next Friday. Yeah. This is the third Sunday of the month, and this is when I come and see you every first and third Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm super excited. You guys had rocked out with me this entire year, so I'm going to thank you again at the end of the program. But here in Georgia, big voting again for the Senate seat here in Atlanta, in Georgia. So I don't know, for those that are watching, like all of this paraphernalia that's been coming in my mail about going to vote, vote early. I did vote early. If you have not, make a plan to vote. Go ahead and get out there and vote. Find out where you can go and vote, because that's very important. And then cast your vote. And if you want to mail it in, feel free to do so. But this is very critical for us here. The whole nation is watching to see how this is going to turn out, because we got to get the House in order for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to pass bills that we need them to pass. So yes, please, if you have not gone out to vote, please go do so. And I'll remind you again at the end of the program. Thanks, everybody, for all the new listeners. Just want to give you a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating to connect and raise awareness regarding issues that impact women. And we do it by way of community service, engagement, public speaking, mentoring. We have workshops that empower people. They learn different things from business to entrepreneurial to financial management, time management, etc. And then we have this, the arts, the media. And we've been doing this for quite some time. And we like this because it allows us to talk about the issues that impact us as women and the men that support us too. So, you know, it's not just solely for women. Men tune in, they check us out. I've had guests that are male, and it's no different today. Today's topic is really very important. I don't want to take it very lightly. I appreciate our guests that were willing to carve out some time to join us today. Today's topic is life with HIV, like living with the HIV virus. I think that, you know, I've talked about this a couple of years ago. It's been some time. And now I have some people in the space that are living with HIV. They are healthy, they are wise, they are phenomenal individuals. They've dedicated their lives to helping other people maneuver and work through the virus. And it's going to be great to understand their perspective, their viewpoint on how they felt when they first found out about it to today, and where we're going in the future with having to deal and cope with the virus. My guest today is Larry Scott Walker. Larry, how are you?
Okay.
How are you?
Good to see you, Larry. Good to see you. I also have Masonia Trailer. I'm not sure if she's going to be able to join in, but I'm thankful, Larry, that you were able to carve out some time in your busy schedule to join us. Welcome, Larry. Welcome.
Of course. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. This is an amazing Sunday. It's nice outside. Like you said, we have a runoff going on. Everybody's all activated and stuff like that, and I feel really good. So, yes.
Awesome. The weather's not too bad too. I'm from the Northeast, and so they got hit with some snow in New York, and so it's just nice to be in 53-degree weather here in Atlanta. I'm rubbing it in. I'm revving it in. Today's a nice day weather-wise. So Larry, let's jump in, right? Because time is of the essence, and I know you're a very busy person, and I don't want to suck up your whole Sunday, but I know you're an interesting person. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Larry. Give us a little background.
So I'm a black gay man living with HIV, but before that, I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, where I was raised in the East Baltimore, so used to be from Northeast. I know the snow, even though Baltimore is technically still in the South. I came to Atlanta by way of Morehouse College. I studied African American Studies and Theater at Morehouse College. I became an advocate, truly, at Morehouse College. I was one of two co-founders of the first and only GSA at Morehouse called Safe Space. After that, I moved back to Baltimore, worked in community, working at community centers and things like that. That's where I would find out that I'm a person living with HIV in 2007. And, you know, lived with HIV, basically just surviving, taking my pill for years until I moved back to Atlanta and met a host of young people living with HIV who were thriving with HIV. And it made me want to do something for myself. It made me want to, like, own my status. Even though I was undetectable, it made me want to be, out about my status. And then once I learned that one of my close family members was living with HIV and had been for decades, it gave me the inspiration and the encouragement to actually do something. Wow. So that's when I co-founded Thrive.
Wow, wow. And so they've been living with HIV for years and hadn't said anything, and I guess through your strength they felt comfortable in saying, hey, Larry, I have it too. Is that how it happened for your family?
That actually, I would have been the most ideal situation, but that is not. Unfortunately, my family member became really ill, and yeah, that's how I found out that they were living with HIV. That is what made me want to utilize my story as a way of encouragement for other people, because we didn't have that point of departure. We didn't have that conversation starter, they didn't have that person to rely on until it was too late, and unfortunately, they would eventually succumb to advanced illness.
So Larry, tell me a little bit, how did you feel when you found out that you had HIV? How was
honestly, I felt shocked. I felt like I was frozen in time. HIV is a disease I never wanted. As a Black gay man, you hear like HIV, it's a big issue in our community, and it was even especially, and it is still at this time. But also I thought about my favorite poets, my favorite Black poets, like Essex Hemphill and Marlon Reyes and Joseph Beam, and how they all died from HIV, and it kind of just made me feel like a statistic, for many reasons. I felt a myriad of shame. Yeah. But that wouldn't last, too long until that would last for years, as I wouldn't be able to communicate my status out publicly. But immediately I would find other Black gay men living with HIV, and we would coalesce around each other and support each other. So I don't want to sell this false narrative like I was just somewhere just feeling so downtrodden. And I didn't have support, because I had the support of maybe 2 to 3 brothers. But in 2015, I wanted to take that from just being the 2 to 3 to being hundreds. And now we have, over, 4,000 members nationally.
Awesome. Awesome. 2015 is when you discovered that you had the virus, right? So it's...
No, 2007.
2007, I'm sorry. So it's still quite a time since when Magic Johnson had announced that he had it. It's a different time period, and we're going to get to that. I want to talk about your family and close friends. So when you discovered that you had it, you went to your closest family members and just kind of shared, or how was it? I guess I'm painting a really nice picture. But
I love this, Larry. I want to meet this guy. This guy is great, I went to a close friend who I also knew was living with HIV, and I told him immediately. I would actually not get into care. I didn't tell my family right away. My family mostly found that I was living with HIV by way of my work. I'm not a big proponent of coming out. I believe in just being who I am. I'm not going to announce like, hey, I'm a person living with HIV, because I'm still that person, and I think that sometimes the announcements and proclamations give people, the permission to other you. It's like, oh, now he's living with HIV. It's like, no. But I went, like I said, friends, partners, I would always disclose my status to my partners and things like that. So along the way, I would gain support. And then, of course, working in the community space, it's a pretty safe space for people living with HIV. It's pretty safe to say, I'm a person living with HIV. So when I moved back to Atlanta and working around these young people with the Evolution Project at Atlanta, I would gain that confidence. I would see the normalcy in it. I would see this isn't just a thing that I do that I engage when I take my pill or when I go to the doctor. I can utilize the lessons that I'm learning as a person living with HIV to apply them to my whole life. And once I opened up about my status, that's when I feel like I took the roof off of my potential.
Okay. Status and lifestyle are 2 different things, so I totally understand that. So then you had to make some adaptations, right? You just changed you changed maybe your circle of friends or your community changed. How did you pivot and turn, Larry, once you realized you're a gay man living with HIV and you realized there must have been a point, listen, I don't want to die. I don't know what this means, but I want to try to own it. So how did you make those changes and pivots and turns to adapt your lifestyle?
Like my community didn't change. Like the way that I interface with my community changed more so.
Okay.
I think that I learned to truly allow my community in a very healthy ways, you know. After learning that I was a person with HIV, I began to rely on the stories of my community more. I began to lean into the history more.